Yesterday, I made a video talking about all the bullish signs that I see happening all at once at the beginning of June and why this could be very bullish for Tesla in the stock market. Now, as I said in yesterday's video, as things come about, as data is presented to me, you have to be nimble and you have to be willing to open the aperture of your mind to more information and different possible outcomes. So I did stumble upon some new information that I want to share with all of you that I think could be a very, very big risk to the stock market, to the economy, to the United States in general. All right. So before we get into this, listen, this may upset a lot of you. This may be something that you guys get offended about. If it is, feel free to unsubscribe. You're not going to hurt my feelings. This is not a channel that, I live off of or anything like that, right? I'm financially independent. So none of that is an issue on my end, but if you want to stay, you want to open your mind, you want to be nuanced, and you want to just understand different possible perspectives, then you're my type of people, and let's rock and roll here. Okay. So let me set the setting for you here. That's good alliteration. Set the setting. Oh, that's not alliteration. Anyways, so I was being flooded on YouTube with all kinds of recommendations the other day for different clips on this town hall between Trump and Trump in New Hampshire, hosted by CNN. And I was getting flooded by all these reactions about it, on how evil he was, how awful it was, from MSNBC, I guess, newscasters. I don't watch a lot of news, so I'm assuming that's what they are. And then on the Fox side, same kind of thing about how soft the Democrats are being, and how sensitive they are, and how poor of a job that the moderator did. And I was getting flooded with all these like clips of the exchange between the moderator and Trump, and then nothing but analyst opinions. And if you guys know anything about me by now, you know that's not how I operate. I like making my own decisions about things. So I was trying to find this. Recording of this, right? I figured it'd be on YouTube. Town hall, right? A town hall is for the people. And I liked the idea of what it was, right? I love that it was CNN trying to be more moderate, right? And have Trump on, who's the leading Republican candidate. So I was like, all right, well, this is interesting just on its face. So I was trying to find it and I couldn't find it. It was almost impossible to find. The way I was finally able to access it was, I guess CNN has a very poor version of their on their site, a very poor video content part, where I had to log in with my TV provider's credentials to get access to this town hall. Right. Again, I don't feel like a town hall should ever be hidden behind a paywall, but that's neither here nor there. That's not the point of this video. The point is I finally got access to this video. Okay. And, Trump said something that I think is very important for all of us to know. I think we all need to think about what he's saying and really think about if this comes true, if the Republican Party listens to him, what this might do to the economy, what this might do to the country, to our credit rating, right? And does he have a valid point, right? Let's listen to it. And I urge you, let's open the aperture of our minds. Let's be nuanced. Let's ignore any feelings you have towards Trump. Let's ignore any feelings you have towards CNN, and let's listen to it for the words, the context, the actual topic that we're trying to talk about here. Again, unfortunately, this does lean into politics. I like to have this channel just be about investing, but these two converge at times. So with that said, go grab your wine, go grab your drink. It's Friday. Let's make sure we're enjoying ourselves as we go through this, and we'll analyze this potential really big, risky situation. All right, so let's go ahead and watch this. It's not long. It's like a minute long, and then we'll discuss, and I have some other things to show you that you have to be aware of.
But when we have a debt limit, and they use that very seriously in me, Schumer came in with Nancy Pelosi, and they were using it. We'll violate it. We'll do whatever. They talked a whole lot different than they do right now. I say to the Republicans out there, congressmen, senators, if they don't give you massive cuts, you're going to have to do a default. And I don't believe they're going to do a default, because I think the Democrats will absolutely cave, because you don't want to have that happen. But it's better than what we're doing right now, because we're spending money like drunken sailors.
So just to be clear, Mr. President, you think the U.S. should default if the White House does not agree to the spending cuts Republicans are demanding?
You might as well do it now, because you'll do it later. because we have to save this country. Our country is dying. Our country is being destroyed by stupid people, by very stupid people.
You once said that using the debt ceiling as a negotiating wedge just could not happen. You said that when you were in the Oval Office.
That's when I was president.
So why is it different now that you're out of office?
Because now I'm not president.
Okay, so that's what I want you guys to watch, and I want to talk about why this is so important. So keep in mind, Trump here, no matter how you feel about him, no matter if you're left, right, centrist, doesn't matter. What we know is that he is the leading Republican candidate by a wide margin. And we also know that Joe Biden is essentially going to be the nominee for the Democratic side, especially since they're not holding primaries or debates or anything. So what that means is that there's a chance that Trump could be the president again. But what I really want you to focus on is what he just said there. He's urging the Republicans in Congress to essentially push things to a default, right? If the Democrats aren't willing to cut on spending, to go ahead and default. And, there's a lot of repercussions that can come from this, okay? This will send the stock market down, I guarantee you. This will lower our credit rating as a country. If you don't think it will, I promise you it will. It happened in 2011. And we didn't even default. But we had a credit rating lowered. So this would absolutely do it. This would threaten the dollar being the standard. This would tell other countries that we're not good on our debts, right? It's like Game of Thrones, right? The Lannisters always pay their debts. Well, the United States always pays their debts. And this is a big deal because we're also no longer on a gold standard, a silver standard, or anything. We're backed by a promise that the United States will pay back their debts. So this is a very, very big deal. Now, the reason I think that this is a big deal is because the Republicans in Congress have nothing to lose. They really don't. They are in the position of strength. They truly are, because no matter what they do, it's not going to reflect negatively on Trump, right? I mean, maybe because tell them to do a default, but the point is, they really do have all the leverage at this point, because the Democrats are in charge. The Democrats are at the table. The Democrats have the presidency. They have they essentially have all the power at this point. So if they are asking for a clean bill, so what the Democrats are asking for is a clean bill, no caveats or anything, to raise the debt ceiling. Whereas the Republicans are saying we will agree to raise the debt ceilings, but as long as it comes with cuts in programs. Now, doesn't matter what the details are, where those cuts are. The point is, this is the stalemate. All right. And I think that the way people will view this is, okay, Democrats, look at the economy, look how high interest rates are, look where energy is. People are losing their jobs left and right. And now we go into this the situation where you won't negotiate with the Republicans. It's not a point of strength for the Democrats. Now, in 2011, it was the inverse. The Republicans had the weak hand, right? And the Republicans are the ones that look bad. So the real question is, does Trump actually have a point here? And ignore that he's Trump. Ignore that he's a Republican. Ignore all that. The truth is, he does have a point. All right. We have been spending in this country like there's no tomorrow. All right. We have horrible, horrible spending habits. I don't think anybody here would actually deny that. Now, what normally happens when you say stuff like that, you start hearing people say, oh, well, the Republicans wanted this and they did their tax breaks and all this stuff when they were in power. And then the Democrats on their side will say, oh, well, the Republicans got this and we got, it becomes like if they did this, we did this. So now it's our turn kind of thing. And that's just silly, because we do have a spending problem. Take a look at this. This is a chart, and I'll just read this. U.S. interest payment is now equal to the defense spending, and 30% of our debt has to be refinanced in the next 12 months at today's higher rates. This is a big deal, guys. This is scary. Look at this. All right. The red is the interest payments that we pay every single year, and the blue is our defense spending. Our interest payments should not be anywhere near our defense spending. Do we have a very large military, Army, Navy, Air Force, Space Force? Yes, we do, right? But there's a reason for that, right? We are the superpower of the world. Love it, hate it, It's the reality. All right. Is there wasteful spending? Yes, of course. Government is awful at spending, and the military is part of government, right? Government has never been efficient on anything. But the point is, this is very extreme, very extreme. All right. Our interest payments are getting out of hand. And the fact that 30% have to refinance to today's interest rates in a matter of a couple months, right? Or when is it? Let's see. And then, yeah, next 12 months, 30% of it, a third of it, that's a problem. That's a really big problem. So Trump has a point. Again, love him, hate him. It doesn't matter how you look at this. We have a problem as a country, as a society, and government has a problem. Now, this is where a lot of people will start to say, oh, well, the rich, the wealthy should pay their fair share. Look, I'm all for people paying their fair share, but there has to be some rationale behind certain things, you know? For example, let's just be logical. Again, like this is not a left or right argument. This is just facts. I'm just saying facts. What happens? Let's say you take a company like Walmart or like Amazon, and you say, hey, they're not paying their fair share. They didn't pay X whatever in taxes. And that's your argument for why these corporations should pay more in taxes. And let's say you raise the taxes on them. This is what happens. You raise the taxes on them, and somehow there's no way for them to get out of it. And what do? Do they actually pay the taxes? No. What they do is they pass that along to us, to the consumers, right? Because they can pay a big tax bill, or we can all pay a little fraction of that tax bill. So that doesn't really solve the problem, because that's you and me paying these taxes. Now, then the argument becomes, well, why don't they ever pay taxes? Well, the reason they don't pay taxes, or they can get huge tax breaks, is because cities, counties, the federal government will give them all types of tax breaks, whether it's an oil company, whether it's a Walmart and Amazon. These tax breaks are incentivized to, one, have these companies invest in certain areas, right? And to care about it, right? Maybe it's cleaner energy, right? We want to incentivize these oil companies to think about going greener and think about the decisions they're making. Or maybe it's a company like Walmart or Amazon where, hey, we want to recruit you to our city to help grow our local economy. So we're going to give you all these tax breaks, right, in return. Because what happens when an Amazon goes to Virginia? Well, you get lots of very, very high paying jobs. And what does that do? That grows the economy. That helps house prices, right? All this development happens. So this is why it's a little more complicated than just tax the rich when it comes to corporations. But then you can say, okay, what about individuals? What about Jeff Bezos? What about Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk is always villainized. So let's talk about this. The idea of taxing Elon Musk because he's the wealthiest person in the world makes sense to a degree. For example, Elon has paid more in taxes than anybody in the history of the United States. I was going to say the planet. I don't know that for a fact, but I know for the United States, nobody has ever paid more taxes than he has. And I believe in aggregate, you could add all the taxes any individual has ever paid. Nobody's ever paid more than Elon. Now, why did he do that? Well, he did that more or less to prove a point and to show that he's not trying to escape the system. When he sold shares of Tesla, he could have done it in many ways to really benefit with tax breaks, but he didn't. He did it in a very expensive way for himself. Now, he did this because he thought it was the best way to be transparent and show that he's not trying to skirt the system or anything, right? In the meantime, have you ever not taken a tax advantage that you could have taken? Have you ever not taken a discount you could have taken? Oh, but he's a billionaire. It doesn't matter. It's the same point, all right? You need to be consistent with your logic. So Elon went against the grain on that. And he said, you know what? I want to be as transparent about this as possible. I'll pay all the capital gain taxes I have to. I won't try to get out of this. I won't use any of these legal loopholes or anything to get out of this. Meanwhile, who's the ones always crying about Elon not paying his fair share of taxes? Congress. Who makes the rules for the tax code? Congress. So whose fault is it? Somehow it's Elon, not Congress, right? Anyways, let me get back on track here. So raising taxes is not going to be the solution to fix the problem. Even if you taxed every billionaire in this country, every billionaire and millionaire and 100,000-aire in this country, we still would not get out of this debt issue. Let me ask you this. When you, let's say that you in your own household, okay, I'm talking to you right now, just you. Let's say that you fall into hard times, right? Or let's say that you're spending more than what you're bringing in. What's the first thing you do? What's the most logical thing to do? Is it to go get a higher paying job? Is it to go and try to get more money coming in? Or is it to take a look at yourself in the mirror and cut your expenses? Stop being wasteful. Get efficient. Yeah, that's what it is. Why do we not hold government to the same standard? We should. Okay. Now, this doesn't mean that we shouldn't have Social Security. This doesn't mean that we shouldn't have safety nets. When it comes to healthcare and all that, I'm not talking about any of that. What I'm saying is we need to get efficient, and that looks like everything. Everything's on the table with that. Military's on the table. Welfare programs are on the table. Everything's on the table. We have to get lean. We have to get efficient. And Trump's point here, just to tie it back, is that look, we might as well default now, because we're going to be defaulting in the future one way or another, because we're never going to get this under control. There's never going to be a silver bullet. There's never going to be some magical moment where we all come together to say, you know what? Oh my God, we really should come and band together and take care of this. Never going to happen. So somebody's got to be the adult in the room. And in this case, at this moment, it happens to be the Republican parties, for better or worse, whether you like it or not. They're the ones saying that we have to cut our spending. And we do. It's just a fact of the matter. We do. Now, how that's cut, where it's cut, is it defense? Is it a lot defense? Is it welfare? What's the mix? That's not for me to decide. That's for Congress to decide, right? They have to figure that out. They have to find compromise. They have to be adults. They have to get along. They have to look at each other, go into a room, actually talk, find a way to get together and make something happen, and stop being influenced by lobbyists and all these other things that are going on, right? Because it is. And we're not stupid. We see it. And somehow we just continue to let it happen over and over. My point is, Trump just told all the Republicans to just go ahead and default. And the truth is, they will probably listen to him. Why? Because he's the leading Republican candidate by a mile. I don't even know if anyone's actually going to challenge him, really. Also, because the Republicans have the power this time around, not the Democrats. Last time John Boehner essentially caved. That's not the case this time. And so, if we go into a default, in the big scheme of things, that could be a good thing for our nation. We don't actually know what would happen. In the very, very big scheme of things, it could set us back onto a right course and help us out. In the short term, think about it as potential bankruptcy for someone. Yeah, that's going to suck for many, many years. But 20 years from now, you'll be happy you did it. You'll be happy you got that reset button. This could spell doom for the United States. This has been the thing that has taken down countries or empires, right? The Roman Empire, crazy, crazy inflation to a point where they just fell apart, right? We've seen this time and time again. Not only that, but we're on the brink of a world war. Tensions are heightened. We've got inflation that appears to be coming down, but who knows if it's what this next report's going to look like. We got interest rates at crazy high at the fastest possible speed that we've never seen before. We've got banks showing cracks, banks defaulting, right? This is all happening left and right. And now we have this debt ceiling that's coming in. And this is what Trump said. Trump essentially told the party to go ahead and default. And now he's saying that the Democrats will bend the knee and they'll cave. What if they don't? What if they don't? This is a big risk. Again, I know I made a video yesterday about being very, very bullish about all this and everything that could happen. This is new data that I just saw this morning. And this is something that I think is a huge risk, and I want to make sure you're aware of it. It's very important for me to help you guys see things, or at least expose you to my opinions, my thoughts, what I'm seeing, because the way I look at it is we're all friends, and if you think of something or you see something, hey, I want you to tell me, right? I may not agree with it. You may not agree with me, but you know what? It's at least another data point. It's another thought. It's another possibility that I want to be aware of, whether I agree with it or not, and then I can make my own decision about it. None of this is hiding behind a paywall, all right? This is out here in the ether. So that's why I want to jump on here. It's Friday. Look, I actually didn't plan on doing a video, but I thought it was important. You know, I love you guys. And after the video I made yesterday, I needed to make sure that I covered the other side after what I learned today. So hopefully you guys appreciate it. Hopefully that didn't come off too political for you. Again, I never disclose my political ideologies. I believe in facts. I believe in what words people say. I believe in getting nuance. And yes, sometimes Trump has a point. Yes, sometimes Biden has a point. No one's always wrong. And the whole point of what Elon's doing, us Tesla investors and everything, is to be less wrong. So we got to check our emotions at the door, check our egos at the door, check our political ideologies, whatever, at the door, open the aperture, drink some good wine, enjoy our weekend, and just try to be better humans. All right. I love you all. Thanks for watching. Peace.